Yeah, Hazer, I was gonna go ahead here. So, 5 games into the season, I'm curious what has been different in the last 2 games from the first three.
I'm going to say our mistakes ended up in the back of our net, I think, for the most part. I think the first couple of games, like I said, we were running well, and our deficiencies didn't really bite us as much as they did the last couple. And again, just, you know, playing against Buffalo, playing against San Diego, they're supposed to be playing in June, right? So they're legit contenders for the most part. And again, they when we made our mistakes, they were really good to capitalize.
One of the players we were talking about earlier this week, we did a piece on was Corey Highfield, who got a chance to return to the lineup after 2 years. It's a pretty remarkable story given his just return and everything that went into it. What can you say about Corey and I guess his perseverance over the last 2 years?
It's excellent to see the way he just sort of continued at it. And again, he was a positive influence when he wasn't on the floor with us, always being around. And you can see that it was frustrating for him that he couldn't be on the floor with us, but the work he did to get to that point is tremendous. Again, it just says a lot about his character and again why we, kind of welcome them back with open arms because he was that's the type of guy we want in a locker room. A guy that's going to just sit there, work hard, be supportive when he's not working or not on the floor with us. And the timing and effort he put in to get back was tremendous. I'm glad to see he stuck with it. And again, moving forward, it's going to make us a heck of a lot better.
We've asked a couple of players early this season about how they handle bye weeks since there's been so many early on for Rochester. Curious from a coach's side, what do you do with all this downtime in between games to get ready?
You know what, a little bit of time away from it, so we're not so pressed, week in, week out, and so got a little bit of time to relax with the family. It was nice that I and my wife and my couple girls and got to watch 4 games over this past weekend and just kind of flip through them. And again, while we're making notes and mental notes, it wasn't pressing that we had to sit there and like say, oh geez, we gotta make sure we do this and that. So yeah, it was nice just to get away again, just kind of put it away a little bit. But once Sunday came, it was sort of back to routine here and start pushing, getting ready for Halifax.
You're a couple days away from that game. What have you seen from them? They're 2-3 on the season. You guys are 3-2. Looks like it'll be a good matchup, especially with Clark Pedersen. He's one of their elite scorers, has been for a couple of seasons. So, what are some of the things that you're seeing that's going to present a challenge with Halifax?
Everything starts from that opening whistle with Jake Withers and their defense is big and physical and strong. They push the ball offensively. Again, they are big and they're physical. And any one of them can go off at any particular point. And again, it's early in the season, and like I say, we're just hopefully we don't poke the bear too much. Do what we need to do, and try and capitalize on a few things that a couple teams have managed to do so far this season.
How much of it is about uh, what they do right versus what you guys need to do right just internally by playing to your identity to come out with the win?
It's mainly again, I think we always try to focus on us each week and make sure that we're better. And again, just coming to the rink just confident that what we want to do, we're going to do and we're going to execute. So that's first and foremost. There's little hitches that we kind of talk about and try to, like I say, try to match with what their strengths are. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to be our best selves and at the end of 60, if we're at our best self, then hopefully we can come away with the W.
All right, those are all the questions for me. Thanks, Hazer.
No problem. Thanks.
You guys have an extremely high scoring offense, but have also given up the most amount of goals against in the league so far this season. As an offense, how difficult is it to remain positive when you are posting up 14, 13 goals, respectively, against some of the top teams, but still come out on the other side of that?
You know what? It bodes well for what we're trying to do as far as an offensive unit is concerned. Um, and and being able to put up those numbers, and yeah, we kind of hit a few ruts there and come some dry spots through each game. But their ability to kind of stick with the plan offensively, that is, and still be able to put up those goals. It's a positive thing for what we're trying to do this group. Fieldsy is dynamite. Smitty has been again, between the two of them, have putting up a lot of points for us, but it's a lot of the other work that everyone else is doing that we see a positive influence from. Vice versa, saying about the numbers, it's not just on our defense, it's also on our offense as well. We've got a lot of transition stuff against us. And that starts with it's a message that we do and always said between the restraining lines. It's everybody's responsibility. So we as a group, everybody that steps on the floor, that responsibility needs to be a little bit more forefront, and it'd be very, very important for us this weekend against Halifax as well, because again, they're another team that runs well, and they'll bury us if we don't.
Speaking of some of those newer additions that you guys have, Kyle Waters is someone you guys acquired. He had 25 points last season, already has 18. He's been playing great for you guys so far. What do you think has allowed him to kind of come into his own and find so much success on this offense specifically?
You know what? I think just not that he's comfortable, but I think he's comfortable and he likes working with the guys around him. And again, he's having some success with which leads to confidence. And again, you go back to the last game, he puts into four for us because I think just because of the confidence he's gaining himself, I also think he's in much better shape this year than he was last year, which helps him to get to the spots. And he's a big body that creates space.
Yeah.
And again, he does it very well for Smitty and our right side there, but he also has the good hands, and so he's able to put himself into a good spot once he's inside. He works inside out, and if he's going to give the opportunity, he gets the opportunity. So I think, like I say, just the confidence and our mindset as a group as well. It's if you're open, you're going to get the ball, and if you get the ball, shoot to score, and he's been doing it well so far.
Yeah. Obviously this Halifax offense is also a very high powered force, on both sides of the ball. What challenges do you guys see that they pose for your guys' defense this weekend?
Well, they are again a very unselfish group that continually finds that next open guy. So we just got to be making sure that we're communicating, trying to get on hands, but again, get on the hands that are kind of in our space in those prime scoring areas as quick as we possibly can. And again, I find they're probably one of the most physical groups as well, setting those big hard picks and stuff like that. So we got to be equally as physical, and trying to deny that stuff they do well. So we'll have our hands full. But yeah, in a nutshell, we just hopefully disrupt and again just match their physicality.
Last one from me. Joe Post, someone that is not super familiar with the box game, has kind of come into this face-off role. What have you kind of noticed from him this season, maybe compared to last season, or just how he's impacting maybe the pace or flow of your guys' game so far this season?
Yeah, I think with him, it's another guy that's getting some confidence playing minutes and playing reps. Like I say, face-off wise, he's good. He knows what he's doing there. It's just getting that comfortability of the space and how to react if he doesn't lose the ball or doesn't win the ball, I mean. And uh, again, the reps he's getting, that just gives us confidence. I think it gives him more confidence. And last year, the 5 games he played, it was get the ball, or sorry, take the face off and get off as quick as he possibly can. This year, he's got a little more leniency here, and he's got a little more comfortability that he will stay back in there and play a defensive shift. And again, the more he can do that, the better off we'll be, because it just gives our guys a little bit more energy, to push transition if the extra body's on the floor with us. So, but Wiz is a different animal. He's going to have his hands full here. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Sorry, just to follow up on that. You said he's kind of finding his groove more a little bit on the defensive end. Is there anyone that you notice that he kind of leans on in your defensive core, to kind of help him maybe establish himself more as a defender?
You know what? I think I will give credit to just about everybody. Again, he sits in the same size as Reeser and Brad Gillies there as well. So they're continually talking with them and making sure that, and even through practices, that he just in the right spots, get there quicker without having to think too much. And again, that's where it starts. And again, as a group, we kind of pride ourselves on being vocal. and again, we just make sure we do a bit better job of it to clean up a few things. But yeah, like I say, as a group, we're, give the entire group credit because we're working together and trying to get all on the same page.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Coach, I did have a couple questions for you. So, one thing we talked about the defense, and Matt Mackey was definitely noting it a little bit. But do you feel like it's maybe a little bit deceptive the goals allowed, especially with the injury to Hartley, and as you mentioned, facing San Diego and Buffalo? Do you feel like maybe the defense is playing better than they're getting credit for?
Uh, I think I think we are. Again, numbers, can be screwed to ever how you want to look at it. But, when we're giving up 14 a game, that's not one of our goals. And that really is not a key to success. Right. And again, we've played against, two powerhouses the 2 last weeks. But again, the first 3 games as well were, like I say, there's no easy game, and there's no team that we're going to sit there and look at and go, okay, well, this is an easy one. Let's just go. But, you know, we don't think we're playing our best. I thought last week, while Buffalo was Buffalo, I thought we left a little bit on the table that was way too easy for Buffalo, and they capitalized on it. So there's, like I say, I think we're playing okay, but there's tons of room for improvement that internally that we're striving to get to.
And so following up on that, that answer in particular, you as a defensive minded guy, what are you telling and what is the rest of the coaching staff telling that defense about maybe not getting discouraged and maybe how they can turn things around?
Yeah, you know what? Again, it's one of those Jekyll and Hyde things. We are kind of preaching that we don't want to get up the floor, as quick as we possibly can, and sometime that spreads us out a little bit more. So again, we're just trying to go back to our core principles, which is just defend inside nice and tight as much as we possibly can, and make sure we're while we think about what's next, make sure we finish the job at hand and then start get going up the floor. So, and again, the other thing is we've had a lot of again, we're missing a few pieces on that back end as well. The guys that have been in key contributors for us. So it's kind of be up to somebody else to kind of take over that role. Dan Coates is especially that one I'm looking at because he logs a lot of minute for us. So we're kind of spreading that wealth around, and Coates is a guy that keeps everybody on the same page. Is He's very vocal, so it's up to us to be a little bit more vocal. I think is at the end of the day the biggest thing for us, and again finish one before we start worrying about two.
And then just finally for you, when it comes to Hutchcraft, obviously he's had to step into this big key role in net. What can you say about his performance when he was starting to get those starts? Obviously, you said that you had a lot of confidence in him and his abilities. Where does that stand now, and how are you speaking with him and the coaching staff speaking to him, considering these 2 back-to-back rough stretches?
You know what? It's let's just worry about the next save at the end of the day, and again, that's what we did with Ryland as well. When don't worry about what happened here. Let's just worry about the next one. And Hutchie is just an even keel character. I think that's, one of his strong points is that he doesn't let what just happened bother him by any stretch of the imagination. He's a guy that's doing the work and getting focused for what's next and what's going to come at him as far as the next shot's concerned. So, and again, all 5 games he's given us that opportunity to win. Like the first 3, he stepped in and did a great job for us. And again, the last 2, a little bit bumps in the road, but again, that's us as a group. We got to clean up a little bit of stuff in front of us because he's making the saves that should allow us to get over the top here. And again, we'll see what this week brings.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Hazer, just a quick question for me. Less and less, there's more guys that played sort of for the original Knighthawks. I mean, as the years go by, but there's still that connection, and we probably don't talk about it maybe as much as we did the first 2 years. But is it still there? Is it still kind of a unique game for anyone that was involved in the original sort of franchise in Rochester, if you will?
Yeah, it is. I think it is still one that again, I personally put on the calendar just to get ready for him. Well, never mind. First and foremost, to see the faces again, and make sure we're saying hi and keeping those contacts together. But yeah, you know what? And it's funny because I like Austin said it to me the other day, and again, Austin's been in the room with all those guys as well, and he mentioned it to me that that's one game that they want to win. That's one of
Yeah.
their highlights of playing. Never mind in Halifax, great atmosphere. But they also want to beat them every time as a group we step on the floor. So it's well, I would say personally, I didn't think it would trickle down to the players as much, but they're just as fired up as we are to play this one.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wrap it up there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hazer. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach.